So this is the guy that I met when I first went to Borneo. He's a friend's great-grandfather, and he's over 100 years old. So the way he got his tattoos was earning them as a warrior. Toolkit they use is all made from the jungle, so 2 sticks from the trees, and they'd sharpen either like a pig's tooth or get like a spine from a tree, like a cactus spine, and use that to tattoo. And then the ink is made from carbon. So when they have like a cooking pot on the floor with the fire underneath it, you get like a black soot forming underneath, and they'll just scrape it off, mix it with sugarcane water or coconut water until it's sort of like a concentrate, it becomes like a paste, and then that's what they use to tattoo. And it's really similar with other tribes around the world. And this is when I got hand tap tattooed by, he's like the last living elder on one part of Scrang River, so it's my friend's great uncle, and he had actually retired from tattooing because, you know, he's like in his 80s now. But at the tattoo festival, a boy brought him from the village to be able to, you know, discuss tattoo history with everyone, and I was begging Boy to ask his great uncle if I could receive a tattoo, and he agreed to do it the next day. So I was really proud that he came out of retirement to make the tattoo. In the Iban tribe, you see more like these you know, big black shapes. It would be quite heavy because in battle they want you to be able to see from afar that they're heavily tattooed to look more fierce, you know, stand a better chance as a warrior. The tattoo practices vary in the tribes. So the Iban, a lot of the men ended up being tattooed, but I've heard that early on it was more women. And in the Kayan and Kenyan tribes, which are more like the hill tribes, it was actually just the women that tattoo, and they only tattoo women. It's not as barbaric as it seemed, because I think armies probably do more damage with drones. I think that's probably more barbaric than back in the day. But yeah, this Iban man, this is how he earned his tattoos, is coming back from a war with a bag of heads. And the bottom left was in a cultural museum. So there's some longhouses in Sarawak that you can visit where you don't have to, you know, no tribal members to be invited to their house. We're perhaps no longer willing to share that knowledge with interlopers. The second image is our reproduction of one of the cactus tools created for a historical display, and the piece is a life-size, and the originals are made from spines of prickly pear cactus and bound with cotton thread. And the reference for this is the Smithsonian collections. So these were found in Utah in 103 CE, and they're the oldest cactus spine tattooing tool. This is the tool that I'm in ownership of. The handle's made of ironwood, which is a really hard wood, and the little dish next to it is what they put the ink in, and the top is carved deer antler. So I found this document. It's like a really antique book, so it's from like the late 1800s, and it shows illustrations of tattooed cultures around the world, which just shows this is our shared human history. It's not just some tribes in some places. It was happening on every continent. Perhaps the most famous tattooed ancient man is Otzi the Iceman, who died in the high Italian Alps more than 5,000 years ago. Otzi's clothing, tools and weapons are a remarkable window into the life of a herder, or perhaps a chieftain in Copper Age Europe. But it is Otzi's body itself, almost perfectly preserved by snow and ice that covered him shortly after his death, that provides unique evidence of early medicine. Otzi is covered with more than 50 tattoos in the form of lines and crosses, made up of small incisions on the skin which charcoal was rubbed. Because they are all found on parts of the body that show evidence of a lifetime of wear and tear, the ankles, wrists, knees, Achilles tendon and lower back, for example, it's thought that Otzi's tattoos were therapeutic, not decorative or symbolic.